You clicked on this video, so you already know it's time for some stats. This time we got Psychic, a horror type that hasn't been good since the 90s. But whatever. Here we go, 50 useless Psychic type stats. Only regular and regional forms will be counted for the stats, not alternative and megas, unless stated otherwise. Let's just start. The two lowest base stats for a dual type Psychic Pokemon came from the same evolution line. There are 26 Psychic type with a base stat of 550 or higher. None came from the Galar region. The two highest HP allocation by Psychic types are from the same evolution line. Cosmog to Cosmoem is the largest weight increase in all of Pokemon. Cosmog to Cosmoem is also the only Psychic evolution that doubles base stat upon evolution. For all Psychic types, Deoxys is the only one to lead in multiple stat categories. There are 24 Psychic type with triple digit speed. None came from the Alola or Galar region. There are 4 Psychic types that allocate 30% or more of all their stats towards special attack. The 4 are split between 2 evolution lines. The Psychic type has the highest average special attack amongst all types. The region that introduced the most amount of Psychic Pokemon is Hoenn with 20, which is also the highest concentration of Psychic types, with 14.8% of all Pokemon introduced in Hoenn having the Psychic type. The region with the lowest concentration is Kalos, 8.33% of Pokemon released possessing the Psychic type. 6 Psychic types allocate 60% or more of all their stats to offense. Half of them came from one evolution line. The most commonly used dual typing is Psychic and Fairy, with 10. The largest gap between the two attacking categories by Psychic type is 85, done 4 times, with 3 of them coming from the same evolution line. 24 Psychic type has the same amount of attack and special attack. None came from the Kalos region. Likewise, 33 Psychic Pokemon has equalized defensive stats, yet still no Pokemon from the Kalos region does this. 35 Psychic types has an HP stat of 90 or higher. No Pokemon from Kalos reaches these limits. 24 Psychic Pokemon has 50 or lower defense. None came from the Kalos region. The bottom 2, Special Sweeper and Physical Sweeper, are the same 2 Pokemon. The most commonly used Psychic base stat is 600, with 11 Pokemon having this amount. When combining the best 3 stats of a Pokemon, only Deoxys passed the 400 total mark. The bulkiest Psychic type in terms of totality is Lugia at 460. The highest singular stat by a Psychic Pokemon is 190, which is Wobbuffet's HP. Only Lugia and Cresselia have all bulk values at 101 or higher. 3 Psychic types has a score of 101 or higher for all their offensive stats. All 3 are mono Psychic types. Halfway done, my favorite Psychic Pokemon is Mewtwo, and I don't really have a good reasoning for this one. 6 Psychic types allocate less than 10% of all their stat to defense. 4 came from the Kanto region. Wynaut has the lowest offense of all Psychic types at 69. The largest gap between bulk and offense is 300, done by Deoxys. If special stats were removed, Solgaleo will have the highest base stat at 478. If special stats were removed, Cosmog would have the lowest stat at 140. If physical stats were removed, Mewtwo would have the highest base stat at 480. If physical stats were removed, Ross would have the lowest base stat at 118. The strongest special tank is Hoopa, with value of 280. 17 Psychic types have equalized offensive and defensive stats. 9 out of 17 came from either Hoenn or Sinnoh. These are the average stats for Psychic types. The closest Pokemon to these averages is Lunatone, with all its stats within 17 points of the averages. Likewise, Ralts is the furthest one with none of its stat within 31.5 points of the averages. 21 Psychic type allocate 10% or less of all their stat to speed. None came from Kalos. Rock on average is the slowest type, yet the fastest Psychic dual type Pokemon is Psychic Rock. The average base stat for Psychic is 460. Both Mr. Mimeform, Lunatone, and Solrock have this exact base stat value. 15 out of 34 of all Levitate users are Psychic types. 16 Psychic type exist from Unova. Only 2 of them have a speed allocation above 20%. Both came from the same evolution line. Only one evolution line averages a 25% allocation to defense. That is the Bronzer evolution line. Smoochum has the highest special attack allocation out of all dual type Psychic Pokemon. All 3 members of the Abra evolution line has a triple digit gap between bulk and offense. No other member of a 3-stage Psychic Pokemon has this, except Cosmoem. The monotype Psychic Pokemon with the highest attack allocation by a non-legendary is unknown. Looking at only dual types, Smoochum has both the highest special attack to attack ratio and highest special defense to defense ratio of all Psychic Pokemon. All Sinnoh Psychic type Pokemon with a base stat of 550 or higher has Levitate. These are the average allocations of stats for Psychic types. Only Galarian Articuno and Mr. Rime are within 2.5 percentage point of each of the averages. Likewise, Deoxys is the furthest away, with none of any of its allocations being within 5.5% of any of the averages. Looking at all the Psychic types in Hoenn, all the dual types have an attack allocation within 11.5 to 23%, and all mono Psychic type are outside of this range. Yeah, those were 50 useless stats about the Psychic types. What type do you want to see next? And Psychic is pretty booty, and that's about it.